दिल ये चाहता है प्रभु तुमको निहारने को दिल ये चाहता है मन में उतारने को दिल ये चाहता है तुम सामने हमारे तुम साथ में हमारे तुम सामने हमारे तुम साथ में हमारे तो भी पुकारने को दिल ये चाहता है तुमको निहारने को दिल ये चाहता है मन में उतारने को दिल ये चाहता है ये ज्योति बिंदु प्यारा क्या रूप है तुम्हारा किरणों ने रूप का रूप है संवारा रूप है संवारा किस्मत संवारने को दिल ये चाहता है मन में उतारने को दिल ये चाहता है तुम सामने हमारे तुम साथ में हमारे तो भी पुकारने को दिल ये चाहता है तुमको निहारने को दिल ये चाहता है पलकों ना बंद होना ये पल न जाने देंगे पलकों ना बंद होना ये पल न जाने देंगे मिलकर बाद हमको अब हम जुदा न होंगे अब हम जुदा न होंगे संग युग गुजारने को दिल ये चाहता है तुमको निहारने को दिल ये चाहता है
Didi, Om Shanti, and a big welcome.
Om Shanti.
And these are for you, Didi. These are for you.
Thanks. Thanks.
So lovely to have you. I'll just give a little introduction. Won't take too much time, but now we have to applaud Didi's new position, because Didi is now the joint administrative head of the Brahma Kumaris. So Didi, a big, we're so glad that you and Mohini Ben and all of our Didis are there now. So yagya is in good hands, Didi.
Thank you.
And I'll just say that Didi started with Baba in 1962, which is about 46, 47, 48 years ago in Mumbai. And Didi was a doctor. That's why we call her Dr. Nirmala. And what happened is Didi ran her medical practice. But then after a few years, she started and opened a center. So she was a doctor plus running a center. And Didi, I don't know if you know, but Didi also started a clinic which was specializing in diseases that were common to the third world countries. And so that became successful because Didi was applying meditation to the medication and the patients were healing faster. And then after 10 years, Didi gave that up and fully ran, I think it was Mumbai that Didi then shifted full-time to the center. And it was actually Didi's father who had given, one of the first few who had given an apartment as a dowry for the service. And again, I'm not sure if all of you will know this, but in 2006, Didi was awarded the Australia Day Achievement Award for a high level of voluntary service to the community, Sydney, Australia. Of course, Didi has many other achievements, but this is a Brahmin gathering. We all love and respect you deeply from the heart. So Didi, I will let you start now. The topic is the history and the future of Seva. So let's see what Didi has to say, and then we can ask her a few questions.
Om Shanti.
Thank you.
I'll start history from 1936, 1937. Brahma Baba was made instrument by Shiv Baba to start satsang, the religious gathering. And for 14 years, he served about 400 jewels who were staying together under one roof. And that was really a great achievement because one sannyasi, Shivanand Swami, he asked Dadi ji in 1954, how could Brahma Baba manage to keep 300 women together? Because he's usually sannyasis give sannyas only to male. But he thought, let me try with females also. So he took 20 female and in 1 month he gave up. He said there was so much jealousy amongst them and fighting with each other. He saw it's not worth. He said, then I took another group of 20 educated women. I thought they might be better. And still it was the same. So he was surprised that 300 of them stayed under one roof and they are doing such a huge task. So Brahma Baba had to face many opposition because Baba's teaching is completely new and the lifestyle is different. But with the power of Almighty Shiv Baba, he could carry on his teaching, and for 14 years they made the foundation of the Dadis very pakka. they become very pakka in Gyan and Yoga. The main thing that attracted most of those dadis, there was not deep Gyan, but experience. So Baba used to give them drishti and they used to experience for peace, love, power, and they surrendered. One of the old dadis, she shared her experience in her story that when she came first, her husband, her brother, there had been 2-3 deaths in her family. So when she came to Brahma Baba for satsang, Baba asked, "Who are you?" And she said, "I am a sorrowful soul." So Baba gave drishti and explained in short, "You are a soul and remember Baba." And after half an hour, Baba said, "Who are you?" And she said, "I am a happy soul." So there was so much experience in short time that all those dadis, they surrendered themselves completely. Now, the group of Brahma Kumars and Kumaris, or they were known as Om Mandali or Brahma Kumaris, they came to Mount Abu in 1950. And within 1 or 2 years, they had finished all money that they had. So what Brahma Baba did is send them to different cities to do the service of India. So service in India started in, I think, 52 or something, early 50s. But at that time, yagya didn't have much money. So most of them, when they went out, they had 2 dresses with them and hardly any money. So they used to stay in either caravansarai or we call dharmashala, because in religious places they have free accommodation and they give pots, bed, etc. So most of them stayed there. Some of them stayed in open at the river bank, etc. And they used to eat only banana and roasted chickpeas. And Dadi Janki many times shares her experience. She was in Bombay. She would walk miles to save the fare of bus and tram. And as soon as they used to get any money or ghee or something, they would send it to Madhuban. So they were really very renunciate, but very powerful yogi. What they used to do is in open at the river bank or on the beach of the ocean or some temple, 2 sisters would sit. One will open picture and explain other, and the crowd will get together. And In those days, some of the Bhagats who used to see them sitting in open or staying in open, they used to offer them house, accommodation. Janki also was mentioning once upon a time in Mumbai, they were staying in one room, two sisters. Every night they will wash their clothes. So they had only two pairs. One night they will wash, next day they will put under pillow so that it is iron, and in the same room, eating, sleeping, cooking, cleaning, everything. So early stage was hard, but they didn't mind, and they had intoxication and kept on doing service and starting centers in different cities. Now, in early days, sisters went to Delhi, Punjab, Lucknow, Kanpur, Mumbai, etc. And some of them, their lokiks invited and gave them some accommodation. Amritsar, Dadi Chandramani was there, and she trained many Kumaris and many Brahmins. They started practicing Brahman lifestyle, and there was lots of opposition. And Mama used to travel a lot in small cities and inspire many. And I am also product of Mama's teaching, because when I went first to the center, it was Sunday and Mama was giving a lecture, and then I started course. So Mumbai, by the time I came into Gyan in 62, many centers were quite well established. So in 64, I went with one of the Dadis, Nirmala Shanta, on a tour of UP, Punjab. And they were quite well established centers, and we had a good time. Now Mumbai service, Dadi Brijendra, Dadi Pushpashanta, they came there first, and they started service in Sion and in Kolaba. And many times Brahma Baba and Mama came to Mumbai. Baba always used to say Mumbai is Mayavi land. Not easy to start service. And that's why Mama Baba used to come to purpose to awaken Mumbai Vasi and also for their health checkup. Because in Abu, there wasn't so much health facilities in those days. So Mumbai Vasis, they had lot of sustenance from Mama, Baba, Dadi Brijendra, Dadi Pushpashanta, Dadi Nirmal Shanta, Dadi Prakashmani. And for me, when I started center in 66, Dadi Silendra was like my mentor. She used to come to center once a month and refresh everybody. But for me, I had to ring Dadi Silendra every day to give the report. So she used to listen to question and answer me. Now, as you know, in 1954, Dadi Prakashmani, Dadi Rattan Moini, and brother Anand Kishore, they went to Japan, Singapore, and Indonesia, and Cambodia, and all. So these three were the first to go overseas to start something. But they didn't start any center. They just tour around. But one of the brother from Singapore who hosted Dadiji, he continued in Gyan. And when Bharti started center in Singapore, Kanti Bhai was the one who supported her and carried on until he left the body. Now, in 1971, delegate of 5 people, Jagdish Bhai, Ramesh Bhai, Shilendra Dadi, Rosie Ben from South India, Chennai, and myself. We went on a world tour. And when we were in London, we did some service, but Jagdish Bhai was very keen that we should not just tour around and give lectures and go away. We must start some center. So we talked with all the students. There were about 10, 12 students from Indian background, whether they want service in London and whether they will support financially. Main thing was that. And all of them were keen to have center because before 71, Rajini Ben, Jayanti Ben's locking mother, she used to take classes for some Brahmins who had taken Gyan in India and they settled in UK. So there were few Brahmins in London, Ilford, Slough, etc. So they said, yes, we want to start center. So they started looking for the house. And by the time our tour, we went from London to New York, to Philadelphia, San Francisco, and LA. And by that time, they had found the house. So they asked Dadi Prakashmani, please send us somebody. And Dadi said, now all English speaking teachers are all of you on a tour. One of you should go and establish center in London. So 5 of us, we sat together and everybody has excuse not to go to London apart from me. So I said, okay, I'll go. Though my medical practice was going on and I had a locum in my clinic. She used to look after my clinic. So rather than returning in 2-3 months, I returned to India after 1.5 years. So London service started in 1971, October or around that time. And when Dadi came in 1974, Jayanti Ben also came to the center. So I left London for good. Now, then I was invited to Lusaka because Ram Bhai, who had started center in Lusaka, he wanted some English speaker to go to South Africa. So I went to Lusaka, but by the time I was even before ready to go to South Africa, I was invited to Mauritius. And we started center in Mauritius. From there, I went to Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, Hong Kong, etc. And we started center in those countries, Southeast Asian countries. Sister Mohini came overseas in 1974 before Dadi Janki, and she came to Germany, London, Halifax, Caribbean, Guyana, and finally she settled in New York. Sister Vedanti also came to East Africa, Lusaka, then Kenya, and whole Africa. Brother Jagdish, when he was with us, 5 of us, he went to Russia and Australia and New Zealand and everywhere. And he was inspired to start center in Russia. And he made Sister Sudha and Santosh instruments over there. Brother Ramesh also toured a lot overseas. And mainly he was helping to organize registration of local centers and prepare constitution for them. And as you know, nowadays, Suraj Bhai, Atam Bhai, Usha Ben, Silu Ben, many Madhuban Vasis, they tour around in different countries and refresh everyone. So that's how the history of service. Now, at the present, this is past, present, as you know, mainly services through internet. Zoom classes, Morley classes also on Zoom, webinars, web conferences, and thousands are taking benefit. And many new souls have emerged through internet also service. So at the moment, some countries are open and are allowed to have number of students coming to the center, whereas other countries, not many are allowed. And India, as you know, is third worst affected country with COVID. Now, day by day, the number is decreasing, but still not all states are open or allow people to come to the center or any religious gathering. So Madhuban also last 2-3 months, we have stopped having bhattis. We had for about 5-6 weeks bhatti in Gyan Sarovar, but since middle of March, end of March, we have stopped anybody coming or even visiting or tourists coming in Gyan Sarovar or Peace Park or anywhere. So that's the present situation. We don't know how long this lockdown will continue. When everything will be open, everything is up in the air. Many Brahmins are missing Madhuban, no doubt. But through internet, we are trying to give Madhuban experience. Some people are having silence bhatti through Zoom calls, etc. Now, final scenes, ultimate scenes, we know that nobody will be able to travel from one place to another. And so it will be Mansa Seva. So through Drishti, Yoga power, Sakas, we will be able to help people. Or sometimes Baba says, the devotees will be coming to you begging for peace, happiness, mercy, and to liberate them from sorrow. So what we need to do is, through yoga power now, stock all the powers, be Master Almighty Authority, so that in the end, whoever comes to us, we are able to share Baba's powers. So they will have vision through us of angels, their special deities, and through Drishti will receive peace, love, power, whichever they need. So that's the future I can see. In between, I don't know what will happen. Hope you will be able to come to Madhuban at least once before destruction. I remember when Sister Vedanti was going overseas, when Baba was sending her to Africa. Vedanti Ben said, what about us when destruction happens? And Baba said, yes, those who have clear intellect, they will have touching that this is the last plane, and they will be able to come to Madhuban. And also Baba has said that wherever you are, you will be doing service. Because if you stay in your own country, you will be given vision to your devotees. They will have vision from you. So service will be done until the end. Om Shanti Aruna. Now I'm open for the questions.
Thank you, Didi. It was lovely, chronological order of everything. Didi, I was interested also in the type of bhavna. What was the bhavna then? And what is the bhavna now? Or what is the type of bhavna that we should be having while we do the service? What was the bhavna before?
I think right from beginning, everybody is keen to give Baba's message to Bhagat souls, devotees who are searching for God. So there was that deep desire to serve others. Whatever we have received, we must give it to others who are stumbling and searching for God. And now also that's the bhavna that we must give Baba's message, and the aim is really clear that we have to reveal Baba to the whole world. So bhavna has been the same. Method has been changing because now the knowledge is refined, yoga is refined, we have commentaries and all sorts of things to help people. So method has been changing. Like in Middle East, you have to be careful on what you are talking. Even today, somebody was saying that they are told not to talk about God, not to mention God. Because in some countries, they don't like to talk about God, or they think God is some monster there to punish you because you have committed sin. So some people are anti the word God. So method has to be adopted depending on which country you are and whom you are speaking. Baba always says, fill the pulse and give them jnana. So especially in Middle East, you have to be very careful what you are talking about.
Didi, do you feel that the faith is the same? Because in the beginning, they would just get on the train without any money or just 5 rupees. And now it's like we have to make sure that we have everything. What about the faith, Didi? Is there any change in faith? Should we improve upon our faith?
comfort. So everybody wants comfort, everybody wants everything. And if they are going for service, they say, oh, I must have projector, I must have PowerPoint, this, that, etc. So naturally, as the time goes, Brahmins are becoming rich, or centers are becoming rich, and centervasis
Hello.
want comfort.
No, sorry, continue, Didi. Sorry.
So faith is there, but life is of comfort now. And there are more, nowadays, new students are more devotee type. They are not very knowledgeable.
Yes, Didi, also we notice like service has changed, hasn't it?
Very
Because-
much, very much.
Yeah, because Mandaben and I were speaking, like where is the next batch of Kumaris, like after us? And it's all yeah, it's different. I'm not saying it's bad. but
Yeah,
it's different.
everybody wants job and mom to cook at home rather to serve at the center, do all-round service. So Kumaris are not emerging anywhere, even in India, very few Kumaris emerge.
Okay, Didi, we have this picture which we're going to show, the one that you mentioned, where all of you are getting ready to take the tour. So we'll just share the screen and show everyone. And maybe you can tell us what was happening there. So this is when you were taking off for,
At the airport,
yeah, which place first were you going?
Mumbai. We are leaving from Mumbai. So this is Rosie, this is me, this is Shil Dadi, Jagdish Bhai, Ramesh Bhai, this is Narayan Dada, Rosie's father, this is Nirvair Bhai, Anand Kishore Bhai,
And this is Nalini Ben on the left.
and Nalini Ben's father, Kaku Bhai.
This one.
This is, I think, Ratan Mohini Dadi's mother,
Yes,
Devi,
yes,
Devi Ben.
yes, yeah. So what was the feeling, Didi? What was the feeling of, because nobody had traveled outside of India, let alone for service. So was there both the excitement of going as well as the seva?
The farewell was great because all dadis who were there in Madhuban, they came to Tower of Peace, and we all five were there. And the song was going, God, the decoration of your house is living. Bhagwan, tere ghar ka shringar ja raha hai. And one dadi gave us fruit, one gave us flower, one gave tuli, one gave rose sprinkle, rose water sprinkle. So farewell was so great. And we were excited to go and do service overseas. but it's not easy. As you know, service was not so easy. But Baba gave us special murli. 5 of us, Dadi Prakashvani and Dadi Rattanmani, 7 of us in Baba's room. And Baba gave 1 hour murli and gave us direction that before you are going overseas, spread vibration now itself. Prepare the land. And to me, especially, he spoke that after going there, you should write letter to your lokiks about Gyan. So after I settled in London, every week or every month, I used to write letter to my lokiks saying what service I'm doing. And what I used to do is write full lecture that I went to this center and I gave lecture on peace, so I will write whole lecture. So my lokiks, they were not listening Gyan when I was at home, but they had to read my letter. So it was service. And when I was in Australia, I said, I gave a talk and I sent newspaper cutting, because in newspaper cutting, it was that meditation helps you to give up smoking and drinking and insomnia and all, it will help. So I said, how many people have given up smoking and drinking? And so my father used to show my letters to his friends, says, my daughter is doing so much service of foreigners. So the thing is, Baba helped a lot, I would say.
And Didi, did you have any like misunderstandings between you? Was there any conflict, and then how did you overcome that conflict?
Where
When you went
in
on the
service,
tour? Well, in service time, yes, but I meant when you went on the tour together.
no,
Like
no,
maybe you felt
No.
somebody felt it should be like this, somebody felt it should be something
not
else.
at all. What happened when we were in New York, 5 of us. London, we stayed with Jayanti Ben's family. And as you know, that time we realized that 5 is too many. Go together. So in New York, we stayed together, 5 of us. But then we decided to go together, 5 is too much. Not so much service and accommodation, food, everything is too much. For anybody to accommodate 5 people is too much. So what we decided after New York, myself and Ramesh Bhai went together. Jagdish Bhai went alone. And Rosie Ban and Sheel Ban went together. So we divided into 3 groups. And then there was no problem.
Right, Didi. Lovely. If anyone has any questions, we can take them. Didi, this question has come up a few times, even here, and with a few of the Arab students. Remember, during the week, Baba mentioned that when Krishna will be born, and you have to deduct the 35 years. Do you remember that?
Yeah, today also in another session, same question came. This is the 3rd session that I'm asked the same question. The thing is, Baba is talking about Lakshmi, Narayan and Krishna separately. That is, Krishna is named right from beginning, whereas Lakshmi Narayan, the name is given after their marriage, Radhe and Krishna. So Lakshmi Narayan are 34 years less in 84 births. But in fact, they are the same. So, but Baba mentioned that.
Yeah, because that 35 is from confluence, so it's still 84, isn't it? You just put it towards this side instead of the golden age. Yeah. Okay. And so the other question, part B of that, is how will the transition take place? That period between now and then, Didi.
It will be chaos. People will be dying due to atomic war, natural calamities, civil war. So it will be a time of chaos before golden age starts. So we have to be ready, because Baba says sometimes some people are so weak that even if they listen bomb or see atomic war on television, they may have a heart attack. Or if they see the rivers of blood flowing around them, they may have heart attack. So we have to really be very strong to face whether it is natural calamity, civil war, or atomic war. And if we are strong, observer, detached, and beyond everything, then only we will be able to serve everybody.
Ji.
Krishna will be, as far as I see, will be born, but he wouldn't be affected with the chaos around of Sangam Yuga end.
So Didi, is Krishna born yet or not?
Not yet.
And how will we know when he's born?
Because Brahma Baba has to be with us in subtle region when we are going back. So Krishna can't be born now until destruction.
So that period will definitely be the other side of destruction. That period where Krishna grows up is definitely the other side of destruction.
Yeah.
And then Didi, you
But
mentioned...
he will be safe and secure and very protected.
Yeah, Didi, I was reading somewhere else that, there are yogis who sit in the Himalayas and they're Lokik yogis, and they have such tapasya that they can actually create this force field around them and nobody can go near them. So these might be the yogis of the advanced party where they, with their vibration, just do keep people away, right?
I think so.
Okay, Didi, and then you mentioned about the stage at the end. I mean, we had asked this to Sister Jayanti, but maybe you can also give your... So at the end, Didi, are we supposed to just be sitting in meditation? Like, what if we feel we don't have the stage and we feel, I better sit now, or is it that I still need to be doing the karma yoga? Because I don't think at the end we will make it up so quickly, right?
It depends where you are. Because if you are in the West, atomic war will finish everything in a few minutes. It's only in India where there is natural calamities that they will have to face a lot. Means there may not be enough food, there may not be clean water, there may not be clean air. So those who are in situation where there is natural calamities only, they have to be much more stronger and be in yoga, because there may not be even food to cook, even water to cook food, clean water.
Okay, Didi. So now if we have few minutes now, so maybe you can tell us if anyone can do one seva, what should it be? What should be our seva if we've got time?
Now
Yes.
we have to do all the three types of seva: through mind, through words, and through our example. Because we can't just sit in meditation. As much as possible, wherever possible, do service through words. Like Zoom, nowadays, people are giving course on Zoom. So give course through Zoom, webinars, web conferences, etc. Because in such conferences, thousands of them are attending. And so many of them are doing courses after that on Zoom. So there is still chance to do service through words. But at the same time, I should be prepared for final moments. Mama used to say, think every moment is your last moment. Be in Baba's remembrance. So we had to be karma yogi, constant yogi. And we had to have Bab Saman stage. So we had to really be ready for the last moment. And longer the duration we are in that stage, easier will be at the last moment. Because last moment, unless we are Baba's love and remembrance most of the time, we may not be able to remember Baba, and we would say, oh, what's happening, etc. So we might be in shock rather than in Baba's remembrance. So we had to prepare ourselves over a long time.
And so what should be the thoughts in Mansa Seva, Didi?
Spread the vibration of peace, love, happiness. Just as in World Meditation Hour, we send vibration of peace. Same thing we have to do every day, every moment, because there are so many people suffering. We have to liberate that.
Yes, Didi, can you just explain in a minute, like, because many people wonder how this works. Like when we sit and we send them these vibes, what is happening to the other soul? I get asked this question many times. How does it work, your Mansa Seva?
Mansa Seva, my experience is whenever somebody is writing to me that I have got this problem or that problem or sickness or etc., especially in the evening meditation, I think about that soul and give sakas to that soul. And that soul really answers me saying, I got help. So the vibrations reaches far and far away.
So, but Didi, when you say send Sakash, what are you saying? What are you doing? You hold that soul in front of you and then
No.
you put them under God's light.
Yeah. I think in my mind that this yoga power is for that soul. I'm in Baba's remembrance. I don't keep that face all the time, but just remember I had to help that soul. Start with remembering that soul, but then remember Baba, because Baba is going to give that soul the power.
Okay. And just last question, Didi. So somebody's asking that Baba says that we have to follow Srimad, but then Baba is not here. I mean, I think what they're meaning is there's no sakar form to ask or check or take direct Srimad. So
Baba gives direction every day in the morning. So you have to catch it. So you should have catching power. And if you don't have catching power, there are seniors. You should trust somebody at least and get help from them, get direction from them.
yes, Dadi Janki always used to say that take direction from somebody who's following the Srimad.
Yeah.
Right, Didi, thank you. So it's been a pleasure to have you with us. And thank you for giving us your time. And I think everybody appreciates, right? We'll have meditation now, and then after that you can wave to Didi. And thank you everyone for joining. We'll have meditation, Didi.
Like moths plunging towards the flame, we journey to our home again. Like flowers open to catch the sun, our minds are open to see the one. To have you is the sweetest thing to feel. You are our everything. Oh Baba, dearest Baba, you came into this darkest night. You gave us back our inner sight. You found us broken and full of shame. You gave us back our crowns again. To have you is the sweetest thing to feel. You are our everything. Oh Baba, dearest Baba, you sold in us the of time. You showed us how the seasons rhyme, from high to low, from rich to poor. We find ourselves inside your door. To have you is the sweetest thing to feel. You are our everything. Oh, Baba. Dearest Baba.
Om Shanti.
Thank you, Didi. And just to say that there's revision on Monday evening with Sister Jenti, so look forward to seeing you then. And maybe you'd like to just wave to Didi now. And Didi, can you see everyone?